All right, you guys ready for today? Dude, I'm ready for today, man. I missed you guys. I was in Orlando. You guys got a little training on Monday. Today, every Wednesday at 2, we walk through some questions. So you guys submit questions. We answer them, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, snail mail. Somebody sent a pigeon last week. Dude, we still answered it. Whatever. So however you can get us a question, we will address it, which is pretty cool. Because you think about it, a lot of insurance agents, they want answers to questions. When you get answers to questions, you get information. When you get information, you're in the know, and you have a better chance of being successful. So I want to jump in and have Duker, the newbie, Duker, Derek Duker. We call him Duker because there's two Dereks. We're going to have him ask some questions you guys have submitted, and then I'm going to answer them while Bailey sits over there and hangs out and watches us. So let's do it.
How many fresh leads should agents work weekly?
Ooh, okay, so I think there's two answers to that question. And I kind of want to answer that by saying I think it's got to be at least 25 a week. The simple reason is you're going to set about 40 to 60%. That's 12 to 16 if you're calling. And you always want to sit with at least 8 to 10 every single week. So 25. But if you're door knocking, you can actually have more activity from the leads. You can produce more activity from a block of leads if you're actually knocking doors. Now, if you do both, that's even better. But if you just buy 20 leads and you just make phone calls, it takes me like 40 minutes to call through those twice. I may call through them on 3 different occasions, and if I'm not any good, I may only set a couple of appointments, and I may end up working like 5 or 6 hours for the entire week off a batch of 15, 20 leads simply because maybe I don't work them enough, maybe I don't door knock them, or maybe I don't get as many appointments set as I should, and then I end up blowing through a set of leads, I don't make any money, and voila. Literally the week's over. So I would have to say, I really think the 25 is a really good number, I really do.
What are practical sales goals for part-time agents?
Practical sales goals for part-time agents. They even got you mic'd up over there today, bro. That's cool. Practical sales goals for part-time agents would be to quit being part-time. That's the first freaking goal, is to quit being part-time. Will Smith always says, hey, there's no reason for plan B because it distracts from what? Plan A. I believe in getting to a full-time state. Because when you're to go from part-time to full-time, you got to be able to believe in yourself. But if you want to remain part-time and you're free and you're broke and you're like, dude, I need this before I can actually commit, believe in myself, have confidence enough to make it full-time, then here's the goal. You need to consistently run and sit with 6 people a week. Because even part-time, anybody can do that part-time. Evenings, weekends, Saturdays, Sundays, doesn't matter. If you want to sit with 5, 6 people a week part-time, you easily could. So that you're at least writing 2 or 3 pieces of business consistently every single week. You have a chance to learn the business. You have a chance to make a little money, scale up, and action. And then, dude, maybe when you start making some money, maybe you'll actually believe in yourself enough to risk it and go full-time.
What advice do you have for new agents?
Advice for new agents, I think the biggest reason why new insurance agents fail, 92% of us new insurance agents fail, I really believe it's a lack of activity. If I had to pinpoint one thing and say, man, I want this, I want to be good at this, it's activity. As a new agent, I just put forth more activity than others. As a new agent, you need to put forth more activity than you're putting forth now. If you want to door knock new and aged leads and cold door knocks or whatever, then door knock 100 a week. If you want to make phone calls, then make sure you make enough. The biggest reason why insurance agents fail is they call a lead once, they don't door knock it, they suck on the phone, they don't see anybody, and before you know it, they had no activity for that week. So my biggest message to new insurance agents is whatever activity you're doing, you need, guess what? You need more. If your activity level is here, you need to freaking take it to here. You got such a way better chance of succeeding if you will just up your activity. Because you can't get great at something, you can't have the skill if you don't start with consistent activity. So activity is huge, man. Consistent activity will trump everything.
How do I meet my sales goals in the month of December?
Ooh, okay, this is a great question. How do I meet my sales goal in the month of December? What's crazy is, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, I want you to comment below and share something with me. What month, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, stop what you're doing and comment. What month is the #1 insurance sales month of the entire year? Most people don't know. Most people know what the answer to the question is. I want you to answer this on YouTube or Facebook if you're watching. The #1 insurance sales month of the year, whether I was captive and working for a company, whether I worked for other companies, carriers, as agents, there is 1 month where you're trying to finish with a strong push. There's 1 month where you're trying to hit a goal. There's 1 month that people are used to spending money and taking care of their family, and their family is top of mind. December is the best insurance sales month, especially for life insurance, of the year. Most agents have no clue. They take the month off. They're lazy. December is the best month. Now, to add to that, for a goal, whatever your normal goal is, freaking double it. But to hit double the goal that you're already doing, guess what? You need to put forth double the activity. So in December, put forth double the activity, and I promise you, it'll pay off.
What is your process for reviewing your year and setting new goals for next year?
That's a good one, because anytime I reflect on my year, I don't want to just set a goal, hit it, and then do it again. My thought process is, okay, if I made 100K, how do I go to 150? If I made 100K, how do I go to 200? If I made 125, how do I go to 250? Whatever it is, add at least 50%, if not doubling. At least an extra 50 to 100% to double that, to at least add another half to double that goal. But you've got to break down the numbers, because say you made 50 grand and you want to make 100 grand, and to make 50 grand, say you worked 20 leads a week. Let's just say you got in front of 6 people a week. Then what are the numbers? How much money do you need to invest? How much time do you need to spend? How much activity you need to do? What do you need to buy? Who you need to talk to? Whatever it is, break down those numbers and figure out, if you sat with 6 a week consistently to make 50K, then sit with 12 and you'll immediately make 100. Whatever your goal is, whatever you made, set a bigger goal for 2019, but don't just set something and be like everybody else says, hey, I'm going to set a goal, it's going to be nice, it's going to be fun, it's going to be huge, and then guess what? You don't live up to it. The people that irk me the most are the ones that shout out these massive goals and put no action towards them. So whatever that goal is 2018, make it bigger for 2019 and actually live up to the hype for once, because I know you can.
How can role-playing improve your sales skills?
Role play daily, Duker. Daily, man. You got to role play daily. We role play in our sales office daily. We role play in our agency daily. We role play locally with our agents daily. Every day. If you're selling at all in a day, then you might as well practice by role playing and warming up than actually practicing on the real stuff. I don't want to practice on money. I'm not saying I don't want to do, because doing is better, done is better than perfect. But I want to practice with someone else. I want to practice in the mirror. I want to practice my door knocking pitch before I get to the first door. If you want to be great at this business and you want to maximize every opportunity, you will role play every single day.
What do you say when you show up to an appointment and they say to just leave the info and not sell?
Yeah. So say you knock on the door, or you show up for an appointment and they say, you know what, hey, I'm really busy, can you just leave it with me? Excellent. Let's do this. I just got to ask a couple of quick questions and then I'll leave all the information for you. I'll be real quick. Should we sit at the kitchen table or at the couch? And then you keep it super simple, but you got to finish with a question. Agree, answer, and ask. Same thing. I just did it. We do it with every objection we ever get. Yes, absolutely. You know what? It's easier since I'm already here. I have a couple questions. I don't know what information to leave you, but let's do this. Give me 60 seconds. I'll ask a couple questions and I'll leave it. Sound good? Where should we sit? like finish with a question. Any objection anyone ever gives you can be overcome. Most people don't believe that's possible. I promise you it's 100% the case, but you got to be thinking through what's going on, and then you got to finish with the question. You just got to ask. Like you got to want to achieve whatever it is your target is. If you set an appointment, the goal is to get in the house. If they're trying to put you off, get in the house anyway. That's all. That's all the questions, Duker. You know what? Let's do something. Let's do something real quick. I want to show. Tell me when you're ready, Dylan. I want you to change cameras for me for a second. I wanted to walk through one thing, which was about, for instance, like 2019. We get some pretty popular questions like, "Hey, dude, what should I do for 2019?" The average insurance agent makes what? It's like $48,000. It's a freaking joke, man. It's a joke. It's awful. But how do I get, Cody, how do I get to 96,000? I'm going to write it bigger because it is bigger. How do I 2x what I'm doing? Immediately double. Most insurance agents that are literally at 48K are sitting with about 4 people per week. Like that's it. Like that's the numbers. That's the stats. And you immediately want to double. I bet 90% of our audience this applies to right now. 90% of people that follow us and watch what we do on Facebook or YouTube, doesn't matter. They're in this situation and you know you are. I was there at once too. Every other insurance agent I know was there at one point. They're sitting with a few and they're making 48 grand. Okay? Because when you sit with literally 3 to 4 people, you're going to write a piece of business or 2 a week and you're going to make a little money, but you're never going to scale an operation the way you need to scale it. So to go to 96K in 2019, I'm going to give you a couple things to think about. Set the target. Set the target. Say it's 96K. My handwriting keeps getting better on every single show. Right or right, Duker. Set the target. Second thing is break down the numbers. You saw me break down the numbers on a video where I helped coach a PNC agent. I can barely spell PNC, but I know how to break down numbers and sales and take that dude to $111,300 in 2019. And the dude got off the coaching session and he's like, dude, I would have paid more if I'd known I was going to get that much value. Dude, he got so much he should have. Set the target, break down the numbers. Okay, so you say, well, dude, what are you talking about? You're talking about breaking down numbers, Cody. What does that even mean? Well, dude, let's break it down. 96 grand divided by, I'm going to give you 2 weeks vacation because I'm a nice guy. Divided by 50 weeks, okay? That's $19.20 a week. If you're looking at $19.20 per week, what's your average premium? Let's just say your average premium is 60. You're at 720, 1920 divided by 720. Wow, it's 2 2/3 apps per week. Who can't write 2 2/3? And when I say 2/3, I mean 2/3. So fill the whole thing out and then rip 1/3 of it off, right? 2 2/3 apps per week. Anyone can do this, but there's got to be a target. They've got to break down the numbers. What does that look like? What type of activity do you have to do to hit that? Because you could say, okay, Cody, when I knock on, just for example, when I knock on 60 doors, I end up speaking to 20. So let's break it down even more. 60 doors. This is something I did in Orlando. When we knocked on 60 doors of newer age leads, they spoke to 20. And then they ended up sitting with 10 and they ended up selling 6. And their average premium was $1,000 per sale. 6 times 1,000, 6,000 times 50, you do the math. That's 300 grand. And that's how you can lay it out when you're door knocking new and age leads. That's not even that hard. You could door knock 20 leads 3 times and you'd end up with these numbers. Most people aren't at a 60%, and most agents aren't averaging $1,000 per sell at an $83 average monthly premium. So in this case, it's 2 2/3 apps. It's way less. It's so much easier. And then after break down the numbers, then you have to actually do we're going to do another show, another video on breaking down the numbers in much more detail and really slow it down. Set the target, break down the numbers, and then put forth the activity, whatever activity that needs to be. If it's 60 doors, dude, it's 10 doors a day, it's 12 doors a day, it's 15 doors for 4 days. It's so easy. A caveman can do it. Even insurance agents with beards that look like cavemen.
Got a couple more questions for you.
All right, a couple more questions real quick.
How to overcome being one-on-one with a client that already has coverage.
Ooh, that's nothing to overcome. That's like a freaking gold. I would rather sit with someone that has coverage than someone that doesn't. They believe in it. They're used to paying for it. If I can put the client in a better situation, then I'm doing my job. So in that case, you're sitting with someone that already has coverage. It comes down to the relationship with you, the value in what you have to offer versus what they have to offer when you compare apples to apples. And then it comes down to, hey, what are the pros and cons? What are the benefits? You can even pull out the Benjamin Franklin decision-making method and go pros and cons on them. Help them with the pros. They do the cons on their own. They end up making the decision, and they end up just choosing you as their agent. That's what happens.
Then we got a guy who has trouble with rescheduled appointments, and then they never show back up.
Yeah.
So he wants to know, how do you set the expectations so the appointment will stick?
Yeah, I mean, you can't make it stick, but a couple little helpful tips for helping an appointment stick would be, okay, you know what? Hey, I'm adding you to my calendar now. Can you grab so I'm putting you in my calendar. Can you grab a pen and paper real quick? They grab the pen and paper, say, okay, do me a favor. While you got a pen and paper, write down my name and the appointment time. So write down Cody and write down Thursday at, what time did we say again? 2. Cody, Thursday at 2. They write it down, and it's normally 2 in my case, yes, more than anything else. Cody, Thursday at 2, and then another question is, hey, is there any reason why you wouldn't be there? Think about it for a second. Is there any reason that would keep you from being available or there or present Thursday at 2? So those couple little small things can help. Now, you can't guarantee they're going to be there. You can't put them in a headlock and make sure they're there, but you can sure try by adding a couple of small little closing additional tips when you're trying to get someone to actually meet with you. So 2019, set a target, break down the numbers. You know the numbers. I mean, I meet with agents all the time and I ask them questions and we end up building a personal presentation for them. If anyone wants to make 100 grand in 2019, if anyone wants to make 200 grand in 2019, if anyone wants to make 300 grand in 2019, if anyone wants to make 400 grand in 2019, if anyone wants to make a freaking $500,000 in 2019, schedule a consultation with our team. Call them right now, 833-40-AGENT. We will figure out what you need to do. We'll break down the numbers. I'll physically tell you what to do to make 200 grand, 96 grand, whatever it is. And then all you have to do is have the ability to drive somewhere, get out of your car, and do this like 12 times a day. If you have the ability to do that, then you can hit any target that we can set for you, but you've got to know the numbers. That's where we come in. If you don't know what you're doing, make sure we help you. All right. This was a little longer. This was fun today. All right. Every Wednesday at 2, we answer your questions. We break some things down. 8% Club on Friday. We're going to go even deeper into the numbers and how my mind works when I'm focused on helping insurance agents succeed. So thanks for watching. Every Wednesday at 2. Have a great, phenomenal week. Keep watching all of our videos. We're content kings and we're going to keep blasting it non-stop until we help you blow up your brand. Thanks for watching. We'll see you Friday. Appreciate you guys.